Hello everyone, today I am here to do a Mashup review. So today I am doing a adult contemporary chick lit Mashup review. As always, I will leave timestamps down below in the description box if you want to hear my thoughts about one particular book, or if you want to hear about all three, just continue on. So the books I will be talking about today are Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren, Untrue Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid as well. Sorry I don't have a physical copy of this because I listened to it on audiobooks. So let's get into talking about all of these. By the way, I rated them all 5 out of 5 and I love them all. So let the gush fest begin. So first up, let's talk about Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. Christina Lauren is actually 2 authors comprised into one, and they write a lot of adult chick lit books, and I really enjoy the majority of the books that they write. I'd say the past 3 they have published I have just loved. This book follows Josh and Hazel, who meet in college, and Hazel is, just take the character Jess from the show New Girl and you have Hazel, like quirky, fun, out there, just does whatever she feels like. That is Hazel. And Hazel kind of makes herself undateable in Josh's eyes, so she decides, you know, they're just going to be friends, and then that just happens in college. Nothing really comes to them. And then years later, after college, they meet up again and they decide, hey, let's be best friends. And so they are. And they also decide to set each other up on blind dates. And the only problem is each blind date that they set each other up with ends in disastrous results. Either their 2 dates end up together, or a fight happens, or you name it, it happens. So of course, that obviously brings Josh and Hazel closer together, and obviously romance ensues. If you're looking for an ooey gooey, gushy, lovey, dovey, insert all of the cute words here, this is the perfect book for you. This book is a great book to read if you're sad, if you just want to pick me up, because it's going to make you smile from start to finish. Josh and Hazel has such an amazing friendship, and they get each other, and you know they're right for each other, but you just have to wait for them to see that they're right for each other. And overall, it's just adorable. I will say it's a lot of steamy times in this book, so just be warned, it is very adult, just so you know, but overall, I gave it a 5 out of 5. I mean, there's not much more to say other than the fact that it was cute and adorable, and I wanted more of it. Like, I want more of these characters immediately. The next book I want to talk about is Untrue Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book follows Emma, and Emma meets Jesse in high school, and they fall in love, and they decide to leave their small town of Massachusetts behind, and they move to California, and they both decide to travel a ton. She becomes a freelance writer. She travels a lot for, you know, different pieces and things like that. He becomes like a production assistant on documentaries, and they just love traveling because they were just so sick of being in their small town in Massachusetts. And they get married, and then 1 year after they get married, on their anniversary, he goes on an Alaskan like trip, be an assistant on this documentary, and then their helicopter crashes, and 2 of the people are found dead, and Jesse cannot be found, so they presume him dead. So obviously Emma is very heartbroken. She doesn't know what to do with her life, so she decides to move back home with her parents in Massachusetts and kind of restart her life. And she begins working at her parents' bookstore that they just really love and that she always kind of hated, and she just begins to slowly pick up the pieces of her life after it was shattered. And a few years after Jesse has died, she meets or re-meets or runs into an old friend named Sam, and they fall in love. And he proposes, she says yes, so she's engaged and everything is going great. She's finally feeling that her life is getting back together and that she can find happiness again. And then she gets a call saying that Jesse is alive and that he is coming home. So this book is all about the notion of, who do you choose? Do you choose the person that you just fell in love with, that understands your kind of rawness and your brokenness and, you know, of your new self? Or do you pick the person that you married, that you love, that you traveled a lot with together, that you have a lot of memories with? Who is the right person for you? And that is what this book discovers. So yes, it's got kind of a love triangle mixed into it, but it's not like cliche, or it's not, you know, dramatic of like, pick me, fight for me, you know, he's wrong for you. It's all handled very maturely, which I appreciated a ton, and it just makes you think so much about love and who is the right person for somebody. Are there more than one is there more than one person in your life that is right for you? You know, is there more than one true love? Hence the title, Loves. It's just an amazing book. It's heartbreaking, that's for sure. I think you will find a character that you like the most out of the love interest. I have one that I liked a lot. If you know which one I like a lot, I would love to hear your thoughts. Which one you think I would pick. But I just loved it. I'd say if you have read Evelyn Hugo, and a lot of people have, and they're just like, nothing's gonna stand up to Evelyn Hugo, you gotta realize that every author in every author's books are different in their own entity. This is very different from Evelyn Hugo. It's very centered on love and the decisions, and I really enjoyed it. I love the Massachusetts feeling. I love the bookstore feeling. I loved just the decision of who she will pick. I loved it. 5 out of 5. Highly recommend it. Can't stop talking about it. The last book I want to talk about is also by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and that is After I Do. This one I listened to on audiobook, so forgive me, I do not have a copy of it. This is about a married couple named Lauren and Ryan, and they have been together since college, and they've been married for, I'd say, 5 to like maybe 7 years, and they kind of hate each other now. They have come to a stagnant in their marriage where they just can't literally stand the sight of each other. So they decide, you know, they don't love each other anymore, and they have no feelings of happiness, and they decide to take a break of marriage. They decide to take 1 year off, and in that year they have no contact. They don't talk to each other at all, no calling, texting, things like that. And they decide after a year they're going to come together and work on their marriage. But during this year they're going to figure out who they are, what they want, and maybe even see other people. So that is what this book is all about. We do follow Lauren primarily, and it's all about her year of discovering who she is without Ryan. Does she love Ryan? Does she love the person she is with Ryan? Does she love the person she's without Ryan? Again, kind of like One True Loves, it discovers the notion of who do you love, you know, and who do you want? What do you want out of life? You know, do you want to be alone in life, or do you want to, you know, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I really love this one. I thought the audiobook was phenomenal, so I highly recommend the audiobook. It also has a really great, I don't want to spoil it for you, they do have contact at some point, but not the contact you think. Let's just say that. And I love that that was in there. But overall, I love this one because, again, it was the notion of making you think of like who you are as a person. So I loved that it explored a lot about her family, and you learn more about her family, and it's not just all about Lauren. It was a lot about her sister and her sister's problems and her brother's problems and her friends' problems. And oftentimes in books, especially like contemporary books, we follow one character when she's with her friends. It's all about her and her problems and her dilemmas. And in this book is very different because she meets a lot with her sister, and you learn about her sister's problems, that she cares about her sister's problems, and she wants to talk about her sister's problems. Same with her brother. And I really loved that it was a fleshed out relationship, that it wasn't, the friendship wasn't there just because she needed a person to vent to. Like, you know, I feel like in a lot of reality TV too, like you have a character there that's a friend that you're just there to let them talk about their feelings. You have no feelings, you can't say anything back. But in this book, it's very different. You get the feelings back from a character. I hope that makes sense, but I really love that fact. So I gave this a 5 out of 5. I loved it. Audiobook was amazing. I'm obsessed with Taylor Jenkins Reid now. That is all. Those are my thoughts and feelings on these 3 books. I love them all, each for different reasons. If you want light, fluffy, romantic, pick this one. If you want books that are kind of romantic but also kind of sad and that'll make you think about life and love, pick either one of the Taylor Jenkins Reid's book and you will do. Either way, love them all. 5 out of 5. Highly recommend them all. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will see you in my next one.